So today with us, we've got Luke Roberts. So, hiya, Luke's a beginner. Well, a bit of a beginner. Five months into your journey?
Yeah, 5 months in now.
Something
Yeah.
like that. So, I like to bring out YouTube videos with lots of people who've got lots of experience, or they're in a niche area of Amazon. But actually, I'm going to try and get hold of some brand new beginners and see if I can speak to them too, because I think everyone wants to hear what it's like being in the trenches as a beginner at the moment. So, how did you get into Amazon? How did it all start for you?
So I originally I've been selling on my own little shop. I sell yo-yos. I've been doing that for about
Yo-yos.
Yo-yos, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah, very, very niche. Very, very niche.
Fun.
But yeah, I've been doing that for a long time, and I think it was probably start of last year I started getting all these YouTube ads about selling on Amazon, private label, that sort of thing. So in the end, I really liked the idea, so I did a private label course. Didn't go very well. Didn't just no.
Was it
but
one of these buy off AliExpress ones in America?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like, get 50 of them, bring it in, private label, all that kind of jazz. So it was good. I learned a lot, but the course itself just gave me a really bad taste for Amazon. But someone who ended up helping me said, "Have you thought about arbitrage?" And I was like, "What's that? What is this?" And that's when he explained to me it's about just, going to shops, buying stuff cheap, selling it on Amazon. And I was like, "Can you really do that?" And, then I started digging and finding sort of examples of where people are, in my eyes, paying quite a fair bit more to get it from Amazon.
Yep.
And I was like, sure, why is someone going to pay 10 quid for that when they can get it for £3 from Tesco? I don't understand, but obviously people do. And I then did another course, which was sort of like, wasn't complete beginner Amazon course, but it got me into it and started looking at sourcing techniques and the bits of software and everything else. And it just went from there, really. It was locked down. It seemed like something fun to do. And I've just been going on from there, really. I haven't been sort of investing too much into it. I hadn't initially anyway, because I was still a bit like, oh,
so do you work full time? Is this like a side hustle?
So
okay.
Got a full-time job, still run the yo-yo shop as well, and now I'm doing Amazon. So yeah.
So what do you kind of want out of it? Where is your business? What's your ideal sort of short-term and long-term goals? What do you?
So at the moment, like a lot of people, I guess, I'm not a massive fan of my full-time job. So I'd like to take a different career path. Whether that's doing Amazon full time, that would be like a long-term goal, I guess. Like if that happens, brilliant. I'm all for doing that. Short-term goal is to bring in maybe sort of between £500 and £1,000 a month profit, so that I can then go for a different job in a completely different line of work. And if I end up earning minimum wage, that's okay, because I've got the Amazon to support me,
Okay.
So that's the goal. But yeah, long term, I'd love to do it full time. That'd be brilliant.
So I'm the other side to the fence. I'm quite an experienced seller, and £500,000 a month profit is really, really, really doable, and it's really doable quite quickly as well, actually. So £1,000 profit is, what is it, £250 a week profit? Yeah. So if you break that down to a day, you're looking at like not very much. So it's very, very, very doable. Yeah. So okay. So what is something now that you wish you'd known at the beginning? What's your kind of like penny drop moment? Something that you
I don't know. So many.
Okay.
I guess I deal sheets. I use a deal sheet service. That for me, I wish I'd started doing that sooner, because I was faffing around so long looking for deals, trying to do manual sourcing, which I still struggle with. I've found a few items that are good manual sourcing, but if I'd have just gone straight for a deal sheet, the great thing about them is, you can get them as a one-off, and it gives you a really good view of the kind of deals that you can get, and also gives you ideas for sites that you'd never normally think to check.
Yep.
So for anyone new who's starting up, I'd certainly say, they can be a bit pricey depending on which one you look at. But if you're struggling with sourcing, I'd definitely just get a deal sheet, even if it's for a month, just to you know,
so you can get there's another company out there called, I think it's One Good Deal or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And rather than getting a whole deal sheet and committing to a month or setting up, you literally can buy 10 as and when you need them.
Oh yes, yeah, I think I know the one actually. Yeah.
So that's another little thing if you want a bit of a budget. Do you want to, because I know you're going to put this in your Facebook group too. Do you want a little nugget for how to get the most out of your deal sheets?
Yes, please.
Okay. Go to somebody or find deal sheets that offer historical data, right?
Okay.
So for example, Kev Blackburn, I think he sells previous deal sheets. So the human brain, I'm going off on a tangent now, sorry,
That's cool.
So basically the human brain, once you tell it something, it kind of just accepts it and doesn't really question it, right? So it thinks that I've seen this, I've seen an elephant, that's definitely an elephant, I'm not going to ask if it's got 4 legs still in a month's time, right? So if someone goes on deal sheet and they buy Fairy Liquid, and it starts off with 5 sellers, looks great, they buy the deal, it does that, too many sellers, price tanks, and it does that, and it just kind of completely tanks. Now, to most of the people on that deal sheet, that product is tainted forever, once burnt, twice shy.
Yeah.
People will not look to replenish it. People will not buy it again. People will just be damn grateful they've sold out. Thank God I've got rid of that hot potato. If you can work 6 months behind, I don't mean hold the stock for 6 months. I mean, so now it's November. So if you can access a deal sheet that's 6 months old.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Everybody's done that. All the people have come in. It's gone back down to the same number of sellers it was before, and it's not on anyone's radar anymore because everyone's got rid of what they think was a bad deal. So it's like riding the wave. So you want to ride the bottom of the wave. So you want data that's about, to be on the safe side, 6 months old.
Okay, that's cool. No, I like that. I like that idea.
That's a nugget for you.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I would take.
And it's a lot cheaper too, because people are selling them for like 1/3 of the price of like actual deal sheets.
Oh wow, okay.
Because to the deal sheet companies, that's dead data.
Yeah.
So if someone goes, so if you contact someone who does a deal sheet and you go, look, can I have 100 ASINs from February 2020, please? I'll give you 20 quid. They're like, I'm making 20 quid on something that was dead. I'll have that. Yes, please. Whereas actually that data is probably better for you than something that's fresh. Brilliant.
No, thank you very much. Yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. I like it.
Very welcome. So back to interviewing you. I kind of took over then. Apologies. What's something that you were really apprehensive about or frightened of that once you did it, it was like, oh, is that it?
Funnily enough, actually sending stuff in. I was buying stuff. It took me ages to actually start buying things, and then I bought it and I had it in my lounge, and I got that fear of, oh God, what if this doesn't sell? I'm going to send all this stock in and it's going to be a complete waste. And I've just, oh God, no. And so it took me from buying my first lot of stock, it took almost a month for me to actually send my first box in. And then once I sent my first box in,
they're taunting you, like looking at you every day.
It's just there. And then I sent it in, and then I think within 3 or 4 days, I got my first couple of sales, and I was like, oh, thank God. And then I kicked myself because I was like, why didn't I send these in sooner? I could have been a month ahead from where I was. So that's it. And I think that seems to be the case for a lot of people that I'm talking to who are looking to get into it. They'll spend so much time sourcing. So my thing to them now is, look, just buy 2 or 3 products. You don't have to fill a whole box. Just fill it, even if it's just a little box with maybe like 3 different products, 4 or 5 of each, send it in, see what happens, and then as soon as you get that first sale and you can see for yourself that it works, then you're off.
You can tell people it works, but until they know someone's going to pay 3 times what they've paid in Tesco's, people don't. I didn't even have my first thing. I bought 10 of the same item in Tesco with 50 quid. And
it was the little pony thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't even have a box to put it in. So I went running out and I bought a 36 box of Quaver, like Walkers, just to get the box. Then I panicked and I was like, it's not a brown box. What if Amazon return it? What if they don't want my Walker's box? I got myself, and then I put my little 10 toys in there, and then I was like, it's not even full. So I shredded a loo roll to pack it out, taped it up.
Yeah, I've used kitchen roll before with my first one.
So a little. I suppose I'd say don't be too proud, and just do it. Just literally do it, because you'll kick yourself.
100%.
Yeah. So what are people telling you that is going on as a beginner in their group? Is it a good time to start, do you think, or is it not good because of lockdown? Is lockdown good or bad to start?
Yeah, I think a lot of people seem really keen on the RA side of things. Now, for me, I'm basically 100% OA. I've bought maybe 2 things in store, and they've sold, but especially with me having started during lockdown, and I just don't want to be around loads of people in a shop. So I think it is I think any time really, by the sounds of it, on Amazon is a fine time to start. You're always gonna, from what I can see, you get waves of people coming in, trying it for a couple of months, giving up and going off, and so you're just going to get those constant fluctuations. I do think, from my own experience, there seems to be a lot more people trying it at the moment, which did concern me initially, but actually, depending on how you do your sourcing, I'm still able to get onto listings for products that I've found super easily on really obvious places where there's only like 9 or 10 other sellers. And so maybe it takes a month or 2 for mine to all sell, but they still sell, So I think it's fine, to start now.
That's a really good. So you're finding things hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's one that I'm selling at the moment, and it's from the most obvious website. It's such an obvious toy, and I'm able to buy it, and I don't know if it's because everyone else is trying to be a bit cheeky and charge too much for it. I mean, it's a toy that I pay £13.50 for, and I sell it for 27. So I'm making about £4.50 on it.
That's really
I order it in lots of 10. I send it in within sort of 3 weeks they're sold, and I just buy another 10. And I'm like, how are people not buying this toy?
You go from, how am I ever going to do this, to why isn't everyone doing it?
Yeah, right. That's it. I'm just like gobsmacked. So yeah, I think that might be another thing. I think there are times when I've looked at stuff, like a common bundle example people use in a lot of the trainings I've done is the Radox, like 6 different bottles of Radox, which at the moment I'm gated in, which is really annoying. You have to get ungated in the Radox brand. But I've had a look at that, and actually there's not many sellers on it, and the rate it sells, I'm like, why is more people not doing that one? As soon as I get ungated in Radox, I'm in on that one. I'm going to give that a go. Yeah, it's funny. It's a funny old thing.
Well, I don't know. I don't think my family have paid for toothpaste for about the last 2 years because it gets customer returned or defective, and it's absolutely fine. It just goes in the bathroom. Same as all. If stuff expires, because Amazon, you need to have 90 days left on it, otherwise it expires.
Yeah.
The amount of chocolate I've had returned. Have some chocolate. Eat some chocolate.
Yeah. So that's fine.
Yeah, most of my returns get eaten, used, or consumed in some way.
Brilliant.
So what's something that's happened on Amazon that you didn't expect? I'm chucking random questions at you now. Is there something that happened that was a real eye opener to you? Is there something that was like, wow, didn't expect that?
I guess. Well, actually, come to think of it, when I first started again, I mentioned before that my experience has kind of been selling stuff on a traditional website, and so when I used to see all these people posting all these crazy numbers on Amazon saying, oh, I've done 20 grand this month or 30 grand this month, I used to be like, wow, that's a lot of profit. But then actually when you break it down, in my yo-yo store, if I'd have sold 10 grand, 5 grand of that would probably be profit, thereabouts.
That's huge.
But in the Amazon game, if you sell 10 grand, you're probably only, although your ROI could be 40 or 50% because of the fees and depending on what products you're selling, of that 10 grand, only about 2 grand might be profit, 2 or 3 grand. So that was a bit surprising to me, knowing that the figures that people post compared to what they actually necessarily take home is a lot smaller. That's why when I was seeing people going up to like 70, 80, 90,000 a month, I was like, oh my God, they must be absolutely loaded. And don't get me wrong, they're obviously doing really well for themselves, but it did shock me. What's another thing? Seller support. I honestly thought Amazon would have the best support in the world, because as a consumer, Amazon are brilliant. I buy something, I don't want it, hit return, bang, get my refund, all good. But as a seller, oh my Lord, are they bad?
Don't. If I've got a question, I'll pop in a group somewhere and ask someone else. I don't poke the bear. I just don't even talk.
No, that's it. And I mean, I've got a thing at the moment where I've purchased a bundle that it's a yo-yo bundle. It's a beginner yo-yo set, and there was only one seller on the listing, and I knew the manufacturer and I assumed it was them. So I was like, brilliant, go to the manufacturer. Can I sell on Amazon? Yes, sure you can. So I ordered like 60 units just to test it, sent it all into Amazon, bang, IP complaint. And I was like, what? Looked at the reason, counterfeit. And I was like, counterfeit, what? And so it turned out that it's actually a seller. And although it's a bundle, they've actually registered it as they've trademarked it. And it's really weird.
Do that?
I don't, it's so weird. So the brand is this particular type of yo-yo, and they've mentioned the brand in the bundle, but then they've also put this like YoStar or whatever they've called it, which is their company. And so luckily, because I've got such a good relationship with the wholesaler, they reached out to the brand directly. And so they've approved for me to sell on it, but only to sell out the stock I've sent in. And then after that, I'm not allowed to sell on it.
That's madness. Yeah. And the other thing it gets with Amazon is their inability to count.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah. Oh my Lord. Like the number of times that, I've only sent in 5 of those, but you say I've sent in 15, or vice versa. Yeah. Yeah, so that was a surprise. Yeah, I honestly thought, don't get me wrong, Amazon in some areas are fantastic, and how they're able to do everything logistically. I think you posted in your group the walk around video of Amazon.
I can't wait to book one of those.
Yeah, I'm keen now. And I thought that's insane. Like the Amazon machine is crazy, but yeah, there's some bits where I just think, man, how do they mess up so bad? Yeah, but it's still good overall. It's still good.
So, what advice do you have to beginners in terms of kind of where should they start? Should they walk into their local Tesco and have a little look around, or go onto like a Argos website? What do you kind of suggest a brand new beginner who's looking at this? Because I started a long time ago. In fact, actually, way younger, 2012, 13, I think. I had my own jewelry brand, which I sold on an Amazon account and an Amazon US account.
No
so
way.
I was ungated and everything. I had the day disbursements. When I sold that business, I went, here, have the Amazon platform.
Oh no.
And I'm like, now they're like absolute gold, those things. My account's like 2.5 years old, when actually I had one of the old ones. I'm tempted to go, please, can I buy that back from you? So when I started, it was different because Amazon rotate things. That's my phone, apologies, that will just stop in a minute. So Amazon are gated on something. It got gated on something. So when I started, I think health and beauty was gated, but groceries wasn't.
Oh right. Okay.
Groceries is gated, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to get that, see if that stops. Apologies. There you go. Right. So I was, sorry, there we go, sorted. Apologies. So so when I started, like toys was gated. And then toys is, so I think they kind of rotate the things that are gated, don't they? Yeah,
there's the number of times when I bought, what was it? Even just recently, I bought some Funko Pops to sell, which I've since learned are actually probably not a brilliant idea to sell, because of like, when people buy Funko Pops, apparently they're really particular about the packaging, and because it's so flimsy, they can get damaged in Amazon. You get a lot of returns. But I bought these Funko Pops. I did my due diligence. I checked it, allowed me to add it. And then once it actually arrived at my house, this was before I was using a prep center, and I went to add it in, it said, oh, you must apply to sell. And I was like, no, I'd only bought like 5, so I'm giving them away as Christmas presents. But I've since tried to get ungated in Funko, and it's been a bit of a pain. So I've just stopped at the moment because I thought, I can't be bothered for now. But yeah, I was just like literally within a matter of about 3 or 4 weeks, I was, what? But apparently it happens. Yeah, all the time. And also like you can do due diligence, you can buy something and it's all clear. And then like a week later, it becomes hazmat. Yes, I've had that. I've got a listing at the moment, which luckily only had 1 left. And it was a toy, and it was something to do with the battery, and all of a sudden it's now hazmat. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I've just got a request for it to do a removal order and get it back. So from a beginner's point of view,
we've kind of laughed and joked about it, but actually I imagine it's quite overwhelming for a new beginner hearing how stuff can suddenly become hazmat, stuff can suddenly become gated.
Yeah.
How do you roll with the Amazon punches, and are they as, because there's a lot of people in the group who've had suspensions and negative stuff. There's quite a few people who are quite negative, had quite negative experiences. Beginners hear that. What's your advice for a beginner who hears all of the kind of scary, can't count, lost items stuff?
Yeah. My advice is actually, it's from my own personal experience and from the people I talk to do it, it's not that bad. Yeah, you know, Seller Central are a pain. Not Seller Central, Seller Support can be a pain. You're going to send some stuff in, and inevitably at some point Amazon are going to say this is broken, so you know, may have to say to them, well, I send it in fixed. But it's kind of, from my experience, it's few and far between. It's annoying when it happens, but as long as if you want to get started, I'd say that from my perspective, I know some people take out loans or credit cards. I just started with a bit of money that I had in the bank. I thought, I'll give this a go. If it doesn't work, then this is how much I can afford to lose. And ultimately, you largely won't lose, because whatever you send into Amazon will eventually sell. And yeah, just start. Just, even if you start slowly, don't worry too much about when you're seeing all these crazy figures, because it can be, we've spoken before about it, it can be really inspirational seeing those numbers. But at the same time, I saw one of the guys I know who started roughly around the same time I did. His first month, he did like $6,000. And I was like, what? My first month, I did like £400, I think, or something.
I think one of my months in Q4, right at the very beginning, because I started at the end of Q3. My very first, like, October or November, was like £300, and I was like, everyone was posting like that was what they were doing every day.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm never going to make it work. How do they do it? Yeah.
And I think, yeah, you're what I have to remind myself is you're seeing a lot of people who are a lot further down the line, but also you don't know what their backstory is, their current situation. So as long as you're able to send a few things in, sell a few items, that's all you need. And then just do it at your own pace. You know, only compare yourself to you. So me, I've just got a goal of trying to beat how much I made the previous month, even if it's by 10 quid. You know, I'm just gonna, you know, keep doing that. I know someone who says, I'm going to add an extra 2 SKUs a week. Yeah,
so they don't mind if they don't make the same money, because that fluctuates a bit, but they've got 2 more items than they had last week, which is 8 a month, which is actually quite a nice little tick over. If you're doing a side hustle. That's
and that's it. And I think, again, it's all about what you want to get out of it. If you just want to earn, you know, a few £100 extra a month, that's absolutely fine. And, you know, I could stop now and I could be, you know, bringing in £200-300 a month profit, and that could be fine. Obviously I've got higher goals than that.
How much work do you put in for your £200 to £300 a month?
To be honest, not a lot.
Really?
not a lot.
Have you read the 4-Hour Workweek book?
Yeah, well, yeah, probably, to be honest, at the moment, because I, especially at the moment, I'm largely working off of my deal sheet. I probably, a few hours a week. I'll just go on 1 or 2 nights a week. I'll spend a couple of hours and just go through my deal sheets and just, because what I normally like to do is wait until the end of the week or give it a few days, and I'll say, right, okay, I've now got 10 products from Argos that I can order, or 10 products from this site, which will give me free shipping, you know.
Okay.
Although now that I've got the momentum going, I'm a bit more confident. I can just go to one website and I'm quite happy ordering 10 or 15 of one item, and then I'll still get free shipping off of that. So and that's the thing. I think when I do think about it like that, I'm thinking, actually, I'm only putting in a few hours a week and I'm already doing this. Yeah. So if I put in, you know, just an extra 5 hours a week, I could be doing that.
Yep.
So you really do get out of it what you put into it.
So I know it's come full circle, and I said to you, said your goal was £500 to £1,000. You're halfway to your lower goal.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And I said you would come really quickly. You are. You're halfway to your goal.
Yeah. So I think as a beginner, it is scary. It's a bit intimidating because there's so much information out there. There's information overload. But yeah, just have a crack at it. You know, if you've got, you know, maybe sort of 50 or 100 quid to spare, get your Amazon account, get it validated, because that can be it took me like 6 weeks to get mine validated. It was a bit of a pain. and then, yeah, just start looking. You know, there's going to be the January sale soon, so you can grab some great stuff in the sales. And then
and don't forget, although it's really sad, keep your ear to the news, because the shops that are closing down, although it's really heartbreaking and obviously staff are losing their job, etc., somebody somewhere is going to buy those products. If it's not you, it will be somebody else. So,
like, I heard a lot of people when Mothercare went, I think a lot of people made a bit out of that. And yeah, it's sad, but it's also an opportunity. And
someone's going to buy that stuff. If it's not you, it'll be them. So it may as well be you. So okay, so what do you hear a lot about that beginners just need to take with a giant pinch of salt?
ROI.
Okay. What about VAs? I need a VA. I must have a VA. Or a repricer and all that sort of stuff. What do you suggest beginners just?
Don't worry too much. Obviously, I'd say aim high with your ROI. But if you're, the general rule seems to be 30% ROI, £3 profit. And I'm like, actually now I'd quite happily sell 20 of a product and, with an ROI of 15% rather than 2 of a product with a 30% ROI, so yeah, obviously keep you, the more ROI the better, but keep looking at that. VAs and things like I'm not using a repricer yet. That's my next target. I'm going to get Seller Toolkit and a repricer, which I can't remember if Seller Toolkit can do that or not, or if I have to get
something. And it's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm going to get Seller Toolkit so I can actually see how much money I am or am not making. And VAs and things, and a prep center. I started doing my own prep, but I got real sick of it real fast. So I started using a prep center, which again, I thought that was going to be really scary. I thought, oh God, I'm sending all my stock to these strangers. They're just going to steal all my stock. And, but no, it's brilliant. For me, a prep center is fantastic. And some people will go straight into using a prep center, but I'd recommend, doing some prep yourself so you can see how it all works. VAs, I'm not even thinking about VAs at the moment. Sure, maybe in the future when if I get that far, then that might be nice. But at the moment, I'm quite happy just doing it myself and just plodding along and doing my own thing.
So you're kind of growing. You're not growing slowly because you're doing really well, but you're growing in a really kind of methodical way. So you kind of master something and then take another step, and then master it and take a step. Is that a fair way to say it?
Yeah, absolutely. And so so at the moment, prep center, I love my prep center. That's fantastic. The
eyes have literally lit up the idea of not doing prep. You're like, yes.
Yeah, that's it. And because I have my yo-yo shop as well, I have to prep that stuff myself. It's all in my garage. So having to come home of an evening and prep a load of boxes for Amazon and then also prep my orders for my yo-yo shop, it was too much. So the prep center's been great. And then, so now I want to get Seller Toolkit and start using a repricer to be a bit more competitive and try and up my sale throughput a bit. And then after that, I think
you don't obviously you don't have to answer this. How many SKUs roughly have you got if you're talking about starting to use a repricer? Where are you kind of at?
I actually looked today. I've got 170 SKUs, but I haven't deleted ones that I haven't stopped using. I've probably got about 60 or 70 different SKUs that I've actually got products in stock for. Because I've heard it's I need to get rid of the old ones because it affects my IPI score.
Actually, it's slightly more important than that. So if you sold something, your first item, and you only have one of it and you've never sold it again, if it's still in your listing even a year later, you can get an IP claim on it.
Oh, really? Oh. Okay.
So if you sell, I don't know, Fairy Liquid, same because I don't know why I can see my kitchen sink. If you honestly, I can see my Fairy Liquid. That's something else that came from Amazon. I didn't send in. I don't pay for toothpaste, shower gel, Fairy Liquid. It's all great. But seriously, if Fairy Liquid suddenly said, no, thank you, actually, you know what, I don't want you selling this. If it's in your inventory, even if you're not selling it, it can be problematic for you.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I did not know that. I thought I was just being lazy, which I am, but now I've got a bit of an incentive to get rid of it.
Yes. And you know your IPI score updates on a midnight on Sunday. So Sunday I sit down for like an hour, and that's my kind of management time to try and get in before the midnight IPI score. Though no matter what I do, I can't stop it nosediving, so I give up. But yes, so yes, it's really important, and that's a really important thing for a beginner too, because you know sometimes people do say that they don't want you to sell stuff, and you know you can get caught out like that. So there's another little tip for you.
Oh, excellent. No, cheers. Yeah, that's nugget number 2.
So okay, so what's been the best thing about being an Amazon seller? I will finish on that question. What's the best thing about doing what you do?
I think a couple of things. I'm loving the community aspect of it. Like, I honestly thought that everyone was going to be like really guarded, and because when I first started, I was looking at private label, and of course with private label, no one tells you anything. They're like, no, shh, no, I'm not going to tell you. And okay,
always secret squirrel, isn't it?
Yeah, and with arbitrage again, like, you know, most people won't tell you precisely what items they're selling, but a lot of people will say, no, yeah, go to Argos or go to Superdrug or go to Boots, and are quite open with where you can go to source stuff. In some of the groups, people will share, oh, by the way, guys, it's 20% off at Smith's this weekend, and just little things like that is really nice. And just what I've really liked is just the fact that I'm learning something new, and I'm continuing to improve on it, and I'm enjoying it. It's really cheesy, but I'm really enjoying the journey at the moment, and I don't know where it's going to go. Maybe in 6 months time I'll, you know, stop growing, and I'll just, like I say, I'll stick with my £500 a month profit or £1,000 a month profit, or maybe in 6 months time I'll be getting a whole load of VAs in and, you know, sitting on a beach somewhere.
Bug. Yeah. I can hear it. You've got the bug. There's no way you're going to not a chance. You're going to keep going.
No, it is a lot of fun. It's weird. It's been a long time since I've enjoyed work, and so I do enjoy this. So yeah, it's real good on that front.
Awesome. So if people want to find you, are you open for questions? Are you there to help people? Are you around and about? Have you got your own Facebook group? If you haven't yet?
Yes, I have. Yes, I've renamed it a couple of times, but it's now Amazon Beginner Support: The E-commerce Journey.
Awesome.
So
I'll link that down below. Yeah, go over, because if you're a beginner, it's a very beginner community, isn't it? It's very beginner friendly. A lot of your posts are designed to beginners, but there are more experienced people in there too. So it's not something, you know, it's not like you've got a nice mix in your group. It's quite a friendly.
Yeah, and I try to. I'm trying to be. I wanted to try and do something different in mine. So each week I produce my figures. It's a little rough around the edges at the moment, but I'll say this is how much I've sold, and this is how much my profit is, just so that people can kind of follow along as I'm going.
That's good. That's different.
You know, and then I also compare it to my Yo-Yo shop as well, so that I can say, right, okay, I'm now at a point where Amazon actually is doing better than my Yo-Yo shop that I've been running for 5 years. And just so that, because like I said, figures is, some people will find it a bit crass if you tell them how much you earn and things, whereas I'm trying to do it I've got nothing to show off about. I just like to be open, you know. Maybe once I'm at the point of earning like 50, 60 grand a month, I might be less reluctant to be like, oh, I'm making £20,000 a month profit. But you know, it's I think people have really given me really good feedback about it, saying that they like to see the realistic kind of figures.
There's no shame in your figure. I don't know. I did look at your figures when you first brought them out, but I haven't looked last couple of weeks. Sometimes having a tiny little growth is not a bad thing. Everyone thinks you're going to grow exponentially in that direction. It's not. Some weeks you kind of do a bit of that, then you run out of stock, and then you get stock, and then Amazon. Yeah, it's very. So I think there's no shame in showing people that actually, because there's a lot of gurus out there who are going, you can make this in this amount of time, and look at what you can do. But I think your group is really, really realistic. So it's a really safe and nice environment for a beginner to kind of cut their teeth, I suppose.
That's what I'm trying to make it. Yeah, and it's been really nice that, you know, people who are joining, and everyone's just been really, really friendly, and then you've got people like yourself who are just happy to share little tidbits and stuff in there as well. So yeah, it's been really, really nice.
Awesome. So can you come back in like 6 months time and tell us you're doing £20,000 a month?
Absolutely.
Yes, awesome. It would be awesome to catch up with you in 6 months or 3 months, just to see how your journey's going. So you're 5 months in, did you say?
Yeah,
so it's your first Q4.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I didn't really realize how much I'd sell in Q4. So I was still being a bit wary. So I increased my sourcing a bit, but didn't send in too much. And now, like, I'm trying to get in as much as I can, because I think I heard that sort of, is it like the first or second week of December after that, it's hard to get stuff into Amazon?
Yeah, well, it depends. Normally, this year's funny because of the COVID thing. So there's more sellers, more buyers. It's a very different world. But normally, as you get towards Christmas, your boxes take longer to ship in. So at the moment, they're going in about 48 hours. But they'll get to a point where it'll be the full 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But this time last year, it was like that now.
So right.
Maybe Amazon get like something like 10,000 or 20,000 temp staff at Christmas or some really ridiculous number. So there's all, you can always tell when it is, because you get a lull where they're all learning and like losing stuff and can't count, and then all of a sudden they're through their training, get ticked up, and it goes up again. It's really weird. So we've done that bit. So hopefully this year it will just roll straight through.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, absolutely.
But don't be if you've missed it, don't be frightened, because there are a lot of people who get vouchers, especially this year where you can't see people. A lot of people get vouchers for Christmas. So actually Christmas Day and Boxing Day, you can have quite good sales days because people open their card or their gift and they go and buy whatever it is that the voucher's for. So yeah, you haven't missed the boat. So yeah, that's awesome. But I'd love to speak to you again. I'd love to hear how your journey goes. I will link the group. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. It's been really good.
Thank you for having me on.
Oh, that's all right. My pleasure. See you later, Luke. Bye.
Yeah.